The galactic peace station floated in deep space like a shining diamond. Inside, leaders from many alien races sat around a wide silver table. Humans were there too. For years, war had burned across the stars. Now, there was a chance to stop. Admiral Sarah Blake, the lead human negotiator, sat with calm eyes. She had fought in the war, lost friends, and now wanted peace. Across from her sat Chancellor Zynak of the Kuroth Alliance, a reptilian race with green scales and golden armor. Others at the table included the insectoid Skell, the blue-skinned Ilari, and the silent machine race called the Viren. Everyone wanted peace. Or so it seemed. Cameras floated above the table, broadcasting the talks across the galaxy. Billions watched from Earth, alien planets and orbiting stations. The galaxy held its breath. "We cannot forget the past," Chancellor Zynak said, "but we must move forward." Admiral Blake nodded. "Peace is the only future. If we fail, today there may be no tomorrow." The moment was powerful. Hope was rising. Then, everything changed. Without warning, a deep boom shook the peace station. The ground trembled, lights blinked. Guards shouted, a massive explosion tore through one of the outer decks. Fire burst through the corridor windows. Alarms screamed. The talk stopped. Leaders ran for cover. Security teams rushed in. "Emergency lockdown," someone shouted. "Seal the chambers." Blake pulled out her communicator. "Earth Command, this is Admiral Blake. We've been hit. Unknown explosion. We don't know who attacked." But Earth Command did not answer. A thick, heavy silence filled the chamber. One by one, the alien leaders stared at each other with fear and suspicion. "This is a trick," growled Zynak. "The humans did this." Blake's eyes narrowed. "That's a lie. We came here for peace." The Skell leader's wings twitched. Maybe someone never wanted peace. Maybe someone wanted war all along. Finger-pointing began. Old wounds reopened. Enemies stared with hate. The talks were over. The peace station was quickly evacuated. Each leader left with their guards, their ships ready for battle. The dream of peace was dead. Back on Earth, the people watched the news with fear. Every channel showed the burning station. Every report told a different story. Some blamed aliens, others blamed humans. The truth was lost in panic. Admiral Blake returned to her flagship, the Resolute, now orbiting Mars. She looked out from the command deck as warships gathered in space. Her second-in-command, Captain Royce, entered the room. "Admiral, we've picked up a signal. It's encrypted. Human code, very old." "Play it," Blake said. The voice crackled through the speakers. It was robotic, but clear. "They have returned, the ones who started the first war. Peace was never an option. Prepare." Everyone on the bridge went silent. Blake stood still. Her heart pounded. "Where did that signal come from?" Royce checked his screen. "We traced it, but it's strange. It came from deep space, and from inside the peace station at the same time." "Inside?" Blake whispered. She turned to the crew. "Someone planted this. Someone wanted us to fail. Someone is watching." Far away, on a dark moon near the edge of known space, a shadowy figure stood inside a cold metal room. Screens showed images of the peace station, the explosion, the arguing leaders. He smiled. "All going to plan," he said softly. The stars above Earth looked peaceful, but the humans knew better. War was coming. Admiral Sarah Blake stood inside, the Earth Defense Command. Her face was hard, her eyes tired. The explosion at the peace station had changed everything. The talks were over. The galaxy was on fire again. Human leaders were angry. Some wanted to strike now, others begged for time. But Admiral Blake knew one truth: humans had to be ready. "All fleets must return to high alert," she ordered. "Activate the defense satellites, begin war drills. We prepare now." Ships flew in from every colony, spaceports filled with soldiers. Engineers worked day and night to build more war machines, faster, stronger, smarter. But not all humans. Agreed. Inside a meeting room at the United Earth Council, a man stood up. His name was Senator Leon Price, and he had always been against war. "This is madness," he shouted. "We don't even know who attacked the station. We don't have proof." Another leader replied, "We don't need proof. We need to survive." The Yao room filled with shouting. Fear was growing. Meanwhile, far from Earth in a quiet corner of the galaxy, a small human ship floated in the darkness. Its name was Shadow Watch. A secret mission was on board. Their goal: trace the strange message Admiral Blake had heard. Inside the ship were only 5 people. The leader was Commander Hannah Wells, an expert in alien signals. She had a sharp mind and a brave heart. "Run the signal again," she told her team. The robotic voice repeated, "They have returned, the ones who started the first war. Peace was never an option. Prepare." Hannah looked at her screen. "It's not just a warning. It's a code. A very old one. From before the First Galactic War." The crew worked fast. They followed the signal, the trail. It led them deep into unknown space, an area marked as dangerous and unexplored. Back on Earth, Admiral Blake got new reports from the colonies near the border. "Admiral," said Captain Royce, "we have strange readings from Vega 9. Lights in the sky. Disappearing ships." Blake frowned. "Alien movement?" "Unknown. They're not answering any calls." "Send a scout fleet," she ordered. "We need eyes out there." Across human space, fear was turning into action. Young men and women joined the military. Factories ran all day. Satellites scanned every part of space. Earth was preparing for a war no one fully understood. Then it happened. In the middle of the night, the radar systems in Earth's orbit picked up something strange. A group of small, fast ships moving. "Through the asteroid belt, are they ours?" asked a young officer. "No, sir, they're not human." Alarms screamed. Within minutes, a squad of Earth's fastest fighters flew out to intercept. But the unknown ships disappeared, like ghosts in the dark. Admiral Blake looked at the screen. "They're testing us. Watching us." Captain Royce nodded. "Someone is planning something big." Back aboard the Shadow Watch, Commander Hannah Wells and her team found something terrifying. An old space station hidden inside a dead moon. They flew close. "It's abandoned," said the pilot. "No lights. No signs of life." They entered the station. Dust floated in the air. The walls were covered in strange symbols, not from any known alien race. Inside, they found a control room. Hannah touched a console. It came to life. A 3D map appeared, the galaxy, but it was marked with red lines and black zones. "What is this?" asked a team member. Hannah's eyes went wide. "This is a war map, and Earth is the final target." Before they could react, a new message played. "The first step is complete. The humans will blame the Kuroth. The real war begins soon." The team stared in horror. "Someone is tricking everyone," Hannah whispered. "They want all species to fight and destroy each other." She sent an emergency message to Earth, but the signal was weak. Would it reach in time? The skies above Earth were dark and tense. Everyone waited. Everyone feared the first strike. Admiral Sarah Blake stood on the bridge of her warship, the Resolute. Her crew moved fast, eyes on screens, hands ready for battle. She had just received a warning from Commander Hannah Wells, but the message was broken. Static had cut most of it. All they heard was, "It's a trap, not the Kuroth. Someone else. Earth is the final." Then silence. Blake turned to Captain Royce. "Do we know where the signal came from?" "Somewhere near the dead moon of Pharaoh 6, he replied. "That system is off limits." "Not anymore," Blake said. "Send a science vessel and a fighter escort. We need answers." But before the ships could launch, it happened. An alert exploded across all systems. "Multiple enemy ships have entered Earth's border," shouted the officer on radar. "How many?" Blake asked. 22. "No, 30. Mostly Kuroth ships." Blake's face turned cold. "Weapons ready. All ships to battle stations." In the sky, giant human battleships turned toward the incoming enemy. The Earth fleet had better armor. The Kuroth were faster. The first shots lit up space like fireworks. Laser beams, plasma cannons, and missiles filled the void. The first human ship exploded. Then a Kuroth ship followed. Inside cities, people watched the battle live. News stations showed burning ships, screaming pilots, and emergency sirens. Families held each other close. Children cried. Soldiers ran to stations. Everyone knew. This was war. On the Resolute, Blake stared at the battle map. "Something's not right," she said. "The Kuroth attack pattern. It's too random, like they're not in control." Then came a new surprise. A group of Kuroth ships turned away from the fight. They began firing at their own fleet. "What in the name of Earth?" gasped Captain Royce. "They're not following orders," said Blake. "They've been hacked or controlled." The crew watched in shock as half of the Kuroth ships stopped fighting humans and started fighting each other. Blake quickly opened a wide transmission. "To all Kuroth forces, this is Admiral Sarah Blake of Earth. You're under attack by your own. Pull back. This is a setup. We are not your enemy." For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then a Kuroth commander appeared on the screen. His face was bloody. Behind him, chaos filled the ship. "This is Commander Varnock of the Kuroth battleship Draxion. You speak truth. We are betrayed." Blake nodded. "We can help each other. End this battle. We must find who's behind this." Varnock growled. "Agreed. We will pull back. For now." The Kuroth and human ships stopped firing. Smoke filled the space between them. Both sides had lost ships. But worse, they had almost destroyed each other for nothing. Back on the secret mission, Commander Hannah Wells stood inside the dark alien station near Pharaoh 6. Her team had unlocked more data. She played a hidden file on the screen. It showed a creature, tall, thin, with silver skin and black eyes. Not Kuroth, not Alari, not any known race. The creature spoke in a low voice. "The cycle begins again. Make them fear, make them fight, and in the ashes, we return." Hannah felt cold inside. This isn't about power. It's about destruction. The file also showed symbols, coordinates. One location glowed red. It was close to the human Kuroth border. "We need to get this to Earth," Hannah said. "Now." Her pilot nodded. "I'll boost the signal." At Earth Command, Blake received the full message at last. She saw the strange being. She saw the plan. "Now we know the truth," she whispered. Captain Royce leaned in. "What do we do?" Admiral Blake turned to her crew, her voice strong. "We find this enemy, we expose them. And if they want war," she looked out into space, "then humanity will give them one they'll never forget." The war was paused, but the danger was growing. Admiral Sarah Blake sat in the command room, staring at the video message from Commander Hannah Wells. The silver-skinned alien, unknown to any galactic records, had made one thing clear: make them fear. Make them fight. Behind every war, behind every broken peace talk, there was a shadow, a hidden hand. Sarah stood. "We were played. They want us to destroy each other." Captain Royce looked uneasy. "But who are they?" "We don't know," Blake answered. "But they're powerful, smart, and they're still out there." Across the galaxy, humans and Kuroth both began secret investigations. Old files were opened. Hidden stories were shared. The first galactic war, it seemed, had many secrets buried deep. In a dark corner of space, the Kuroth High Council met in silence. Commander Varnock spoke to his leaders. "The humans speak truth. Our own ships were controlled. Something used us." An elder Kuroth leaned forward. "Then the ancient warnings were true. The Null. The ones who feed on war." "The Null?" Varnock asked. "They were a myth," the elder said. "But now they return." Back on Earth, scientists worked with Hannah's team. The map from the alien station showed red zones, places where strange signals were rising. Dr. Lin, a signal expert, tapped the map. These red areas, like they match where past wars began. The same energy, same hidden signs. "Then the Null have been hiding there," Hannah said. "And waking up, Dr. Lin replied. One by one. Admiral Blake wasted no time. She called. A secret meeting with trusted Kuroth commanders. I'm not here to make peace, she told them. I'm here to survive. And we all need each other to do that. Commander Varnock agreed. Our enemies are not human, and not Kuroth. They wear no flag. Together they formed a secret task force, Strike Group Echo, made of both human and Kuroth agents. Their mission, hunt the Null, find their base, and end the threat before the galaxy collapsed. But the Null were already ahead. In the Vega system, a peaceful Ilari colony went silent. No distress signal, no survivors. When a rescue ship arrived, they found only ashes and strange black symbols carved into metal. They leave no one alive, said the human captain. They want fear. Back in Earth Command, Blake studied the Null's pattern. They don't conquer, they destroy, and they leave the survivors to blame each other. Hana added, and every time we fight, they grow stronger. A message came through. Strike Group Echo had traced a signal to a forgotten system, Ysera 9, a system that didn't exist on any current maps. They erased it? Blake asked. No, Hana said. Someone hid it. Admiral Blake made her decision. We go there, we face them. This time humans do not run. She stood in front of her officers. For centuries they pushed others to fight, but now they face us. And humanity will show them what happens when someone wakes the sleeping giant. Captain Royce gave a small smile. We ready the fleet? All of it, she replied. Every ship, every soldier. In the dark, the stars seemed to whisper. The galaxy was holding its breath. Strike Group Echo moved quietly toward Ysera 9. No lights, no noise. As they entered the system, the space around them changed. We're inside something, the Kuroth pilot said. A field. It's blocking all scans. And then they saw it. A giant black structure floating near a dead star. Not made by any known race. Not metal. Not stone. It pulsed, like it was alive. This is their nest, said Hana. The Null had awakened, and they were waiting. The giant black structure near the dead star was not just a base, it was alive. Admiral Sarah Blake stared at the floating mass through her warship's main screen. It pulsed like a heart, slowly and deeply, as if breathing in space. Commander Hana, Wells whispered. It's made of some kind of organic metal, not built. Grown. The Kuroth pilot beside her added, and it's watching us. Strike Group Echo had entered the Ysera 9 system silently. But now there was no hiding. Lights across the Null structure started glowing. Blood red, one by one, like eyes opening in the dark. Inside the war room of the Resolute, Blake addressed her mixed crew of humans and Kuroth. This is it. We've found the enemy behind every war, every lie, every death. The Null feed on chaos. They turn species against each other. They erase peace before it begins. She looked around the room. But they made a mistake. Everyone leaned in. They woke up the wrong species. The fleet moved closer. Drones were launched. Fighters circled the Null nest. Strange waves of energy hit their ships. Our systems are glitching, said Captain Royce. We can't scan inside, but they can see us. Then, without warning, they spoke. A voice echoed through every ship, cold, hollow, not male, not female. You are early, but it does not matter. The war will come. You will burn like the others. Admiral Blake replied, We're not like the others. All say that. All fall. Suddenly, dark shapes came out of the Null structure. Small, fast, sharp like blades. They looked like living machines, with no heat, no life signs, no fear. Prepare for attack, Blake shouted. The battle began. The blade ships moved faster than any fighter. They sliced through human drones, one by one. They crashed into shields, exploding in black flames. Kuroth destroyers fired plasma beams. Human cannons lit up space. But the Null were endless. Inside the Resolute, the ship shook. They're trying to get inside, said Royce, like bugs crawling into a machine. Blake stayed calm. Full counterattack. Use EMPs. Target their movement paths. Then something worse happened. A null signal hijacked their own navigation. 2 Kuroth ships turned and fired at the fleet. "They're taking control again," Hana shouted. Admiral Blake slammed her fist on the console. "Cut those ships off. Use backup codes." "Already doing it," said the tech officer. "But they're strong." The battle felt like a nightmare. Human and Kuroth forces fought side by side, but the null kept coming. Just when hope was fading, Hana made a discovery. "This isn't just a ship," she said. "It's a brain. If we can shut down the core, the rest will fall." She pointed to a glowing center inside the structure. "That's the neural hub." Blake made the call. "Launch a strike team, human and Kuroth. Get inside, destroy that core," Hana volunteered. "I'll lead it." So did Kuroth warrior Dral, a fearsome fighter who had lost half his clan to the null. Their dropship dodged enemy fire, spinning through explosions and debris. They entered the black nest through a broken side port. Inside it was cold and wet, like stepping into the mouth of a beast. The walls pulsed. Strange whispers filled the air. They moved fast, blasting creatures that looked like twisted machines. The deeper they went, the darker it became. Finally, they reached the core. A giant brain-like mass floated in the center of the room, wires, like veins connecting it to the walls. "It's alive," Hana said. "And it's afraid," Dral growled. "They planted charges." Just then, the null attacked. Dozens of shadow-like creatures came from the walls. A fight broke out. Blades, guns, screams. One of the soldiers fell, then another. Hana reached the detonator. "We're out of time," Dral roared. "Go! I'll..." "Hold them!" Hana hesitated, but Dral pushed her away. "Tell them, we are not slaves of fear." Hana ran. The core exploded behind her in a wave of white light. The null ship shook. Outside, the enemy fleet stopped moving, then began falling apart. On the Resolute, Blake stood up as her screen lit with victory. They did it. The core is gone. Cheers broke out across every ship. Humanity had struck the heart of the real enemy. But in space, shadows still moved. The explosion inside the null nest shook the whole Ysera 9 system. The giant black structure was breaking apart. The core was destroyed. The brain of the enemy was gone. But the war was far from over. Inside the Resolute, Admiral Sarah Blake watched the battle reports. The null ships were falling, but small groups still attacked the fleet. The enemy was not giving up easily. Commander Hana Wells' dropship was back, but one member of the team was missing. Dral. Hana's face was pale. "Dral stayed behind. He fought alone so we could escape." Blake's voice was steady but heavy. "His sacrifice saved many lives. We owe him everything." The fleet was repairing. Soldiers were readying for the next move. The null might be weakened, but their power to control was still dangerous. Suddenly, a strange signal appeared on the fleet's communications. Dr. Lin, the signal expert, leaned over her console. "This signal is different. It's not null, it's human." "What?" Blake asked, eyes wide. Hana nodded slowly. "It's a distress call. From a secret human base. One we didn't know existed." The fleet quickly changed course. The BA signal came from the edge of known space, a place called Nova Outpost. When the fleet arrived, the outpost was silent. No lights, no answers. A landing party went down. They found the base empty. But the walls were covered in warnings. "Beware the darkness within," and read one message. "And trust no one," said the human captain. Then an alarm went off. The base's computer turned on by itself. A hologram appeared. It was a woman. Older, tired eyes. "I'm Dr. Ava Reyes," the message said. "I built this outpost to protect humanity. The null threat is not what you think." She explained that long ago a secret group of humans tried to stop the null by using their own technology. But something went wrong. The experiment created a dark force inside humans themselves. "This darkness grows every time we fight," Dr. Reyes said. "It wants war. It feeds on fear and anger." Blake frowned. "You mean the null isn't just outside? It's inside us?" "Yes," Reyes said. We must find a way to stop it before it destroys everything. Suddenly the base shook. The Null were attacking again. The landing party rushed back to the fleet. Blake realized the war was now a battle not only for space, but for the soul of humanity. She made a decision. We fight the enemy outside, but we must also fight the enemy inside. The fleet prepared for a new kind of war, one of hope, courage, and unity. Because in the darkest moments, humans showed their true strength. The fleet hovered above the shattered remains of the Null nest. The enemy was broken but not gone. The darkness inside humanity was the new battlefield. Admiral Sarah Blake stood on the bridge of the Resolute, her eyes scanning the stars. The galaxy was quiet, but the war inside people was loud. Commander Hannah Wells approached her. We need a new plan. The humans and Kuroth must work together, not just to fight outside threats, but to fight fear and anger within. Blake nodded. We will create a council, humans and Kuroth and all species who want peace. Together, we build a future. But the darkness was not easy to defeat. Soldiers who survived battles sometimes changed. They became cold, angry, and violent. Some even betrayed their own. The council called it the shadow within, a sickness born from the Null's attack on minds and hearts. To fight it, Blake and the council started a program, the Light of Unity. It was a way to heal minds, to bring hope, to remind everyone what made them strong. Trust, friendship, and courage. Hannah led teams that helped soldiers. They talked. They shared stories. They reminded each other that they were not alone. Slowly, the shadow began to shrink. One day, a small signal came from deep space. A new ship. Human, but unlike any before. It was a symbol. A sign that humans, once hunted and hunted others, were ready to lead. Blake stood at the front of the new fleet. She spoke to all crews. We faced terror and darkness. We lost friends and family, but we never gave up. We fought not just to survive, but to become better. She smiled, proud. This is the rise of humanity, not because of power or weapons, but because of our heart. The ships moved forward, ready to explore, protect, and bring peace to the galaxy, because when humans stand together, even the darkest terror cannot break them.